Thank you to everyone tuning into another CSE listed issuer update. I'm Anil Mall representing the CSE, and today I'm talking with Dr. Carolyn Myers, who is the President CEO of FendX Technologies, Inc. Carolyn, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I hope you're well.
Great. It's a nice sunny day here in New Jersey where I live.
I want to jump right into it. I know the company has had really compelling news, but for our viewers that might not be familiar with what the company does, can you give us an introduction to FendX Technologies?
Sure. Thanks, Anil. And it's great to be here. I just wanted to say before I move forward, I might be saying some forward-looking statements, and I just want those that are be listening in or viewing this to be aware of that there might be risks or assumptions around them. And they should really visit CDAR Plus to look at all of our materials that are filed with CDAR. And also you can go on our website, fendxtech.com, to see all of the disclaimers as well. So FendX Technologies is a nanotechnology company where we're developing products to coat surfaces to reduce the spread of potentially lethal pathogens. And our hope is that this will contribute to the global efforts to actually reduce the spread, which is a real problem. We licensed our nanotechnology from McMaster University in 2021, and we're in the development stage to produce films and sprays that will have the nanocoating associated with them to be able to put on surfaces, again, to reduce spread. And the reason I was very impressed with this nanotechnology and the reason we started the company around it is because McMaster's been able to demonstrate a reduction in adherence of bacteria like MRSA and viruses like COVID-like viruses from adhering by more than 98%. And this is pretty significant because if a bacteria or virus cannot stick to a surface, they cannot replicate, and as a consequence, it's very difficult for them to spread. So McMaster has shown some really good data. The problem in healthcare is that it's very difficult to control these bugs, as I mentioned, and many of them are actually transferred on surfaces. And so that's our goal, is to develop these products to contribute to the reduction of the spread. Our lead product is called REPELWRAP film. It's basically essentially taking plastic and putting the nanotechnology on top of it. So I call it a nano surface or a nano film. And it's currently with our manufacturer, Dunmore. And we put out some news this morning, which is really exciting, that we've been working with Dunmore over the last few months. And we announced this morning that we are able to automate the production of REPELWRAP film in a pilot run on their commercial manufacturing equipment. So we're pretty excited about this.
I think that's great news for the team and a good milestone to reach, because the company's only been listed publicly since March.
Yeah, we've only been listed since the end of January. Well, we became a reporting issuer at the end of January. We started trading in March. So You're right. I mean, we are a brand new, a public company on the CSE, which we're excited about as well. We have always told our shareholder base and future investors about our milestones and timelines, and we're actually meeting them, which is a testament to the fact that, we've got the management, we've got the ability and the expertise to move our projects forward.
Absolutely. And it's so important to meet those milestones to be able to build shareholder confidence, definitely. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your background, Dr. Carolyn. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this space.
As I said, I live in New Jersey. The reason that I'm originally Canadian, the reason I moved to New Jersey is because I wanted to be in the corporate offices of large cap pharmaceutical companies. And at the time, most of them were here in New Jersey. So I've had the opportunity to work for a few of these large cap pharmaceutical companies in very senior roles. And my background, I've been in commercial roles, I've been in M&A and licensing roles. I've also been the president of two different pharmaceutical companies. One of them was a film manufacturer. In fact, we made transdermal products to deliver drugs through the skin. So I have very good familiarity with creating films or, scaling them up. left Big Pharma and started my own consulting company. And I really got interested in startup companies and microcap companies, and started mentoring them, working with them, helping them with their investor decks, et cetera, to translate their science or their technology into business strategies, which is my forte. And through this process of working with all these companies and identifying new technology, that's how McMaster's nanotechnology I became aware of it, and did an investigation on it, and discovered that this was really potentially unique and potentially disrupting to the market, and decided to create a company around it. And here we are 3 years later.
Well said. Now, I want to actually, very important part of any company is the team. Are there any other key notable team members that you've brought on board to not only move the company forward, but to work on the technology as well?
Well, first of all, we work very closely with McMaster Universe. They are incredibly collaborative and supportive as we move forward. They're actually doing most of the R&D work with us. So they are a very important part of the team. But Andrea Mulder is my COO, and she and I have known one another for a very long time. She's out of Toronto. And when I lived in Toronto, we worked together years ago. And she's terrific. She's worked in a lot of the big companies out of Canada. She's launched in her tenure more than 10 products. I should tell you, I've launched more than 25 in my case, and done more than 50 M&A licensing deals. And then to add to that, Andrea has done, similar things on the commercial side. And, Andrea is an operator. That's why, when I reached out to her, she said, yeah, let's do it. I brought her on as COO. She's a great operator, and our partnership is very synergistic. I'm very much a business strategist, visionary, and she is the person that actually gets it done. And she's the one that was instrumental in getting us to where we are with regard to the Dunmore announcement. Also wanted to mention Rose Zanuck. She's our CFO. She has been absolutely an essential member of the team as we move forward to become public with you guys at the CSE, and is the person that really, she understands capital markets, she understands governance, she's very much an important part of the team as it relates to those aspects of the business. And I just want to say, because it's always important to me, is that we are a female team. And so the entire C-suite we are female. So I'm really proud to say that I've been able to create a female team at this point. Can I just say a few more words about the Dunmore press release? Because I just wanted to highlight what this really means for the company. When we did the licensing deal with McMaster for the IP, for the nanotechnology, they had also created a film. It was essentially the size of a quarter. So that's how big the film was. And what our challenge was to take it from a coin-size film to creating roll-to-roll manufacturing. In other words, creating sheets of this, like thousands of feet long. So that was our challenge. And in addition to that, the McMaster process to get it to that small quarter-size film essentially took like 24 hours. And clearly that's not efficient for commercial manufacturing. So we had to take it from that period of time down to minutes. And so that's what we have been able to achieve over the last year and a half or so, until we, signed the partnership with Dunmore, to be able to create in a pilot run. So we're still early, but we've done a pilot run, sheets of plastic that have been coated with our nanotechnology in minutes. So it's a real testament. And I've done this before, so I know how difficult this is. And we've been able to achieve it within this first pilot.
I think that speaks to not only your experience, vast experience and background in this space, but to the rest of the team, along with the team at McMaster as well. To our viewers watching, the news release that we are referring to will be the news release on October 3rd. That's when we're recording this. You'll obviously be watching it at a later date. So if you are interested, go take a look at the news release that the company put out on October the 3rd. Carolyn, I want to talk about maybe some competition. Do you guys have any peers in competition in this space? And if you do, how do you and your team differ from that besides the back?
Right. Well, let me start with the technology first. As I said, when I first started looking at this technology, before we even formed the company, I was of the opinion that it was potentially unique and disruptive. And part of the reason for that is because the other films that are out there, we call them antimicrobial films, are not like ours at all. The difference is that they have metal ions in them. And so what needs to happen in order for the bacteria and viruses to not be spread is they have to attach to the surface, they have to replicate, and then they're killed. But this doesn't happen instantly. Ours repels instantly. It doesn't happen instantly. And so as they're forming these colonies of bacteria, there is still the potential for those bacteria and viruses to be transmitted. Again, ours is instantly repelling. In other words, bacteria and viruses cannot stick. As I said, we've shown 98% reduction in adherence. So it's pretty good. I mean, they're showing great results too, but it takes time. And that really is a key difference. As it relates to our team, I've talked about myself, I've talked about Andrea. We have a lot of experience in bringing products to market. And we have a lot of experience with dealing with the end users, particularly in the healthcare sector, like hospitals and clinics, long-term care, et cetera. And I believe that is a strength that is very different from others that are in this space. And so we believe that we can not only create services that are unique and different, but we also have the expertise to be able to bring these to market in the healthcare sector, which is obviously one of the sectors where these bugs are transmitted.
I from what I've read on your website and talking to you, this seems like a very innovative product. You guys are obviously doing good work, and it seems like there's a lot of traction around this. Now, going into the rest of 2024, what can our audience and your shareholders expect from you and your team?
So again, the next step with regard to REPELWRAP film after doing this pilot run is to do continued refinements to the formula as well as to the process. That's going to take a little bit of time, and we're going to test it along the way. In fact, we're planning to do real world conditions testing as well. We've identified a few groups or companies that are interested in doing this beta testing with us. Once we're at the point where we're comfortable that we have films that are ready for that. Once we're successful with all of that, the idea is then to go into the next step, which would be commercial production. So if all of this falls in line as we anticipate, we potentially may have a product that is ready for commercialization in Canada in the late summer, early fall of 2024. So keep looking at our press releases as we move forward, because as we progress, we'll be putting out more news. With regard to our spray, it's an earlier stage product and development. We licensed the nanotechnology from McMaster back in the late spring, early summer. And so we're really just looking at that formula, determining what reformulations, et cetera, are going to be needed. But the next step after this will be to bring on a manufacturer that can help us assess potential scale up and get us down the road of where we are with Dunmore, our film manufacturer, to do a pilot run for us. And we anticipate that we can achieve this certainly in 2024. And then there's one last project that I wanted to tell you about that we are hoping to start very soon. It's actually to coat plastic with our plastic, like the plastic used for catheters, to coat it with our nanotechnology. McMaster in early stage studies have shown that when you coat it with the nanotechnology, it prevents bacteria from adhering to the surface, so bacterial colonies forming, up to about 98%, just like the film, but also it prevents blood from sticking to the surface. to about the same percentage. And we anticipate that means that you can't get blood clots on the surface. And you may know that the culprit with catheter occlusion or clogging, particularly the long-term indwelling catheters, are bacterial colonies that form or blood clots. So, and they're very expensive to fix, and many times they can't be fixed. Sometimes the catheters need to be removed surgically and then reimplanted, which can be very costly to the healthcare system. So I'm pretty excited about this project because it takes me down a road that I'm very interested in from my days of working in hospitals, etc. And once we start that project, we hope to be able to develop a product that potentially will help to reduce occlusion rates. So those are the things that are happening. So there'll be news about the catheter project potentially as well in 2024.
Now, we always encourage our viewers to do their due diligence, go to your website, sign up for your press releases, keep up with the news. And obviously, we encourage them to reach out to you and your team should they have questions. I know you mentioned this in the beginning, but tell us again, where can our viewers go to read up more on the REPELWRAP film, FendX Technologies, and the team?
Yeah, well, thanks, Anil. And you can go to our website. It's FendXTech.com, FENDXTEC.com. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you want to sign up for our e-blast, you can do that on our website, and you'll get our news releases firsthand in your email.
Absolutely. To everybody watching, you've been listening to Dr. Carolyn Myers. She's the president CEO of FendX Technologies. Carolyn, we appreciate you taking the time to not only educate myself a little bit on the space and technology, but our viewers as well. I look forward to what you and your team have in store. Our team at the CSE wishes you guys nothing but success as you move forward in this path. And I look forward to hosting you on again in 2024, where we can update our viewers once again on what the team has accomplished.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to our next connection.